When I look back on the last few years of my life, I sometimes wonder how everything changed so quickly, yet so beautifully. My name is Sarah Miller, and I have been married to my husband, Daniel, for 15 years. We met in college, young and uncertain, but full of dreams. Over the years, we built a home, raised two wonderful children, Emily, who is 12, and Jacob, who is 9, and shared countless ups and downs. Life had become comfortable, predictable, and steady. There was nothing wrong with it, yet deep down I knew both of us were craving something more, something that would rekindle the spark of adventure we once had when we were younger. Daniel was always a man of ideas. He loved trying new things, but like many of us, he got caught up in the daily routine, work, bills, school runs, fixing things around the house. I, too, often found myself stuck in a loop of responsibilities. One evening, while we were sitting on the porch after dinner, Daniel turned to me and said words that would change everything. "Sarah, I've been thinking, maybe it's time we try something new together." At first, I laughed. Like what? Salsa dancing? Cooking classes? He smiled, a little nervous, but full of excitement. Maybe. But more than that, something that really challenges us, something we've never done before. Something that makes us feel alive again. I studied his face. The man I had known for so long suddenly looked younger, like the college boy I fell in love with. His eyes were bright, hopeful. And although part of me wanted to cling to the safety of routine, another part of me, one that had been quietly whispering for years, wanted the same thing. So I said yes. At first, we started small. Daniel signed us up for a weekend hiking trip in the nearby Blue Ridge Mountains. I wasn't sure if I could handle it. I wasn't exactly in the best shape, and it had been years since I'd done anything more than a morning walk around the block. But when we packed our bags and set out on the trail, something inside me came alive. The air smelled of pine and fresh earth, the sky stretched endlessly above us, and for the first time in years, I felt free from the weight of schedules and deadlines. It wasn't easy. The trail was steep, and I was sweating and complaining within the first hour. But Daniel, patient as always, encouraged me. "We're in this together," he kept saying. And step by step, I pushed myself. When we finally reached the summit and looked out at the valley below, I burst into tears, not from exhaustion, but from joy. That night, as we sat by the campfire, Daniel reached over, held my hand, and whispered, "See? We can do more than we think." That trip sparked something in both of us. We returned home with sore muscles, but stronger spirits. Over the next few months, we decided to dedicate time each week to something new. Sometimes it was small, like trying out a new recipe together or taking a pottery class at the community center. Other times it was bigger, like signing up for a charity 5K run or learning to kayak. The more we tried, the closer we became. It wasn't just about the activities, it was about rediscovering each other in the process. I began to notice things about Daniel I had forgotten. The way his eyes lit up when he figured something out, the determination in his step when he was challenged, the gentle way he encouraged me when I doubted myself. And he, too, began to see me in a new light, not just as the mother of his children or the keeper of our home, but as his partner, his equal, his teammate in every adventure. Of course, life wasn't always smooth. There were days when I wanted to give up, when the kids' schedules, his work deadlines, and my responsibilities felt overwhelming. But Daniel always reminded me why we started. "It's not about being perfect," he would say. "It's about growing together." One of the most memorable new things we tried was volunteering as a family at a local shelter. We thought it would be a one-time event, but it ended up becoming something much bigger. Seeing Emily and Jacob hand out meals, talk to people, and smile as they helped, it opened our eyes. It wasn't just about finding excitement for ourselves. It was about teaching our children the value of compassion and service. That experience became a turning point. It showed us that something new didn't always mean thrilling or adventurous. It could also mean meaningful. Slowly, our lives began to transform. The house that once felt weighed down by routine now buzzed with energy and laughter. Dinner conversations shifted from mundane details to excited plans for the next new thing we'd try. Our kids got involved too, suggesting ideas like painting a mural in the garage, starting a small vegetable garden, or taking a road trip to places we had never visited. One summer, we decided to go big. Daniel suggested we take a cross-country road trip. At first, I thought he was joking. How could we manage it with 2 kids, our jobs, and our budget? But he had been saving quietly for years, and when he showed me the plan, I couldn't say no. That trip became one of the most unforgettable experiences of our lives. From the Grand Canyon to Yellowstone, from small towns to bustling cities, we saw the country in a way we never had before. We sang songs in the car, got lost more than once, camped under the stars, and shared stories that will be passed down for generations. There were challenges, flat tires, rainy nights, arguments over maps, but those moments only made us stronger. When we returned home after 6 weeks on the road, I looked at Daniel and realized something profound. Trying new things wasn't just about adventure. It was about trust. It was about saying yes to life, yes to change, yes to each other. Today, years later, that decision to agree to something new has shaped who we are as a family. Emily is now dreaming of studying environmental science, inspired by the national parks we visited. Jacob has discovered a love for painting, thanks to the mural we created together. And Daniel and I, we are closer than ever. Our marriage, once steady but quiet, is now vibrant, alive, and strong. If there is one lesson I've learned through this journey, it's that growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from stepping into the unknown, even when you're scared, even when you're unsure. Saying yes to Daniel that night on the porch was more than agreeing to try something new. It was agreeing to live fully, to embrace change, and to rediscover the joy of being together. When people ask me for advice about marriage or life, I always say this: never be afraid to try something new. It doesn't have to be big or expensive. Sometimes it's as simple as cooking a new dish, taking a walk on a different path, or spending an evening playing a game instead of watching TV. What matters is the willingness to step out of the ordinary and into the extraordinary, even if only for a moment. My husband wanted to try something new, and I agreed. That one choice has given us stories to tell, memories to cherish, and a love that grows stronger every day. And I will keep saying yes for as long as I live.